It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream. There was a bit of a glitch, but I think it's good now. There was no audio and then the video cut off, but we are finally back with another live stream Q&A. This is going to be a Q&A where we talk about a few things. We're obviously going to have a lot to say about the Walking Dead universe. There's been a lot of very interesting details released about part 3 of season 11, but also about new spin-offs and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's also a lot of great, exciting stuff coming up when it comes to the Breaking Bad Better Call Saul universe. So we're also going to be talking about that, which is why I have the thumbnail the way I have it. But this was another surprise stream, just like many of my last couple streams have been a surprise stream. Let's see how many people are going to show up here. Kid behind the screen says, "Hi, it's been a while since you streamed." Yes, it has been, but we are finally back with streams. I don't think we're going to do it every week, but every couple weeks I'll try to do streams, and it's tough to plan these, so most of them are probably going to be surprise streams, but we'll see. As always, also let me know if there's any issues with the stream, anything wrong with the audio, video, or anything like that. Let me know. We'll give people a few minutes here to join. Hopefully people will be able to join, given that this was a surprise stream. Just gonna double check to make sure everything is good from an audio video point. I think everything is good. Let me know in the chat if everything is good and ask away your questions. Jermaine Trevino, I'm so happy Rick and Michonne are going to have their own show. Yes. I have mixed feelings. I'm excited, but at the same time, looking at everything they tried to do for the movie and stuff like that, it seems like it was all a waste of time. I'm happy we're finally where we need to be, but this should have happened before. You know what I mean? Like a couple years ago. And I don't get, and I here's the thing. I do get that they wanted to do the movie first, but now looking back, it's a mess because there was a TV show, Rick went away, he's back to get his own TV show, he's gonna lead star in it, but then it's the same show, so it's a mess all around. But at the same time, I'm excited that we're finally at a point where Rick is back in the story. Dr. ADHD, I've heard that Rick and Michonne's show is gonna be more than 6 episodes, like multiple seasons. Is that true? I heard that too. I don't know if that's true. Season 1 was definitely confirmed with 6 episodes. We don't know if it's gonna be green lit for season 2 and stuff like that, but at this point they only have 1 season planned, and let's just stick with this, because if we go back to what if it's a couple seasons and all of that, it's gonna be like the movie thing. It's like, is there gonna be 3 movies? So we're gonna get into that whole conversation, and if it gets canceled or anything, which I hope it doesn't, then we've been wasting our time talking about anything we talk about, you know what I mean? So I just don't want to think about the movie, or not the movie, to think about the Rick and Michonne spin-off until we get a trailer. Like, I don't want to say anything about it until we get a trailer. Jose Hernandez, the cast of Tales of the Walking Dead, teased at Comic-Con that one of the episodes takes place 35 years into the apocalypse. That's very interesting. I wonder if it's the episode where we see the the scientist, because actually, maybe not. I don't know. 35 years, how long are we in right now? Like 10 years, right? 10, 11 years? 35 years seems a lot of time. So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. Dr. ADHD, are you more excited for the show or Isle of the Dead? Neither. Honestly, neither. I'm more excited for the final episode, like the final episode of the series, not even like the last 8 episodes, because there's something that, like, something tells me it's gonna be a slow 7 episode, or maybe things will happen but it won't be right away until the last 2 episodes. So I just want to see the end. Like, I just want to see how they wrap it up. It seems like there's a lot of there's a lot of fluff so far for season 11, but not so much substance as there should be. Jeremiah Tervino, and Jadis is going to have to at some point explain to Rick and Michonne why Jadis took Rick. Yeah, I hope that comes in the spin-off, because where else would you put it, right? Here's another thing. What was the point of World Beyond? Like, if they had their shit together before World Beyond should never have been a thing. It should have always been the Rick and Michonne spin-off. We should have gotten everything we got in World Beyond in the Rick and Michonne spin-off, plus a lot more. So, yeah, like, I don't know. It just feels to me that it's a mess. Like, it's great that we have the spin-off finally with Rick and Michonne, and Rick is going to be back, but it's just a mess if we look at everything that's happened ever since Rick left. So, it's a mess. That's all I can say. Jermaine Trevino, so Tales is before Walking Dead, like a prequel. Tales is before The Walking Dead. No, I think by what you're saying, most or not most. Obviously, it's going to be different timelines because it's different characters for Tales, but like you said, one episode is going to be 35 years. That means Walking Dead is a prequel to it, right? Or did I get that wrong? Dr. ADHD, I mean Rick's show or All of the Dead. Sorry. Oh, if I had... Honestly, at this point, because we don't know a lot, neither, because we need more concrete details, but if I were to, like, choose, I would obviously go with the Rick and Michonne spinoff. Because Isle of the Dead seems to be more build-up for the Rick and Michonne spinoff. Maybe we're totally getting this wrong and there's no connection, but at this point, that's what it seems like. Kid behind the screen. There we go. A lot of people are mad because the movies are not happening, but they should be grateful. Well, I'm grateful. I'm just saying that they should have planned things better, a lot better, to not be in this position. Kid behind the screen. I swear most of the Walking Dead community is so toxic. They swear they love the show, but talk bad about it all the time. Well, I don't know about fans in the community, but for me, when it's doing good, like when I enjoy it, I say I enjoy it. And when I think it's bad, I say it's bad. For example, let's not even talk about Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead. Season 5, or not even Season 5, the first few episodes of Season 5, or was it Season 5? No, Season 6, I think, where Morgan appeared, right? When the crossover happened. The first few episodes were excellent, in my opinion, for Fear, with Fear standards. But it just went downhill from there, and it hasn't been back up at all. So when I talk about the good, I also talk about the bad. So it's the same thing with The Walking Dead. Walking Dead, even, I'm not gonna go back to like the greatest seasons, like season 6 or whatever. Season 9 was good, right? I really enjoyed it. Season 10, it was questionable. Moments were slow, and it just felt like the story wasn't really going the direction that it should have. And then season 11, it seemed like it was gonna go back up, or near the end of season 10 into season 11. But with the Reaper's introduction and with all of the stuff that they did with them, again, a lot of fluff. I'm back to downhill, or The Walking Dead, I think, is downhill again. So let's see what they're gonna do in the final 8 episodes. But when it comes to the spin-off with Rick and Michonne, I'm excited for it, obviously. I'm just disappointed that they didn't plan things better, so that we don't even talk about the movie. We don't even have World Beyond. We just, have we have something where we go from Walking Dead to maybe a year or two of nothing into the spin-off with Rick and Michonne. Like, all of these spin-offs and stuff like that, it seems like too much. Like, what was the point of canceling the show if there's like 3-4 spin-offs with the same characters? So I just feel like overall things could have been done a lot better, so that there's more. I don't know. It just feels like there's no plan. Like there was no plan to whatever happened. I'm talking too much. You get what I mean. Jose Hernandez, AMC, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, gave information about Isle of the Dead, saying New York is crawling 1,000 walkers and that the government blew the bridges up. I mean, some of that was expected for us to be seeing in that show, given that it was teasing New York. But yeah, and I'm surprised that they confirmed or gave that information, because it seems like too much information to give out before the season even starts. But yeah. Kid behind the screen, I'm glad you're very positive when you talk about it. Yeah, I'm positive about the show and the universe, but it's just that it seemed like a domino effect. You know what I mean? Like, Rick left, they teased the movie right away. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. But then, if they didn't do that, fans would be disappointed because Rick is gone. So, pros and cons. And then, after a few years, nothing. And then they gave us World Beyond. World Beyond, they could have done things where they revealed more to us, where maybe Rick showed up, maybe something like that. They didn't do that. And the idea at that point, I think, was that there's going to be movies, and they should put all of that in the movie. And then we didn't get a movie. So it's like wasted opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to really make Rick's appearance impactful. You know what I mean? Jermaine Trevino, I'm asking because I think Tales of the Walking Dead is before Walking Dead, because we saw Alpha is going to be in one of the episodes. Well, the thing with Tales is that it's multiple timelines. We have different characters from different timelines, different stories. Alpha's story is a backstory, so that's in a previous timeline. But there could be timelines that are in the future. There are timelines that are overlapping with where we are in the show right now. So it's all over the place, and that's because of the type of show that this is. It's not like Fear. It's not like World Beyond. It's not like Walking Dead, where you have one main timeline. In this one, you have multiple timelines. Each are important, and each are telling a story for something that's going to be relevant, I hope. Dr. ADHD, do you think we'll see Rick and Michonne in the last episode of the main show or not? And how do you want the last episode to play out? I don't think we're going to see Michonne, but Rick might appear. But I think he's going to appear in a alternate timeline thing. Like, he's not going to be in with the team. Like, he's not going to be with Daryl and Maggie and Negan and all of them. We're going to see a quick or not even maybe quick, but we're gonna see a glimpse of what Rick is up to at some point in the time that he's been gone, which might tease something for the spin-off with Rick and Michonne or something like that. If Michonne shows up, she'll be with Rick, and we'll see the two of them together. That might be a bit too much given that there's the spin-off, but yeah, I'm not expecting anything huge with Rick if he appears at all in the final episode. I don't think he'll appear in the final 7. If anything, it'll be the final episode by itself. And when it comes to what do I want to see, like how the episodes to play out, I want the Commonwealth thing to complete its arc. I don't want it to be identical to the comic book because it doesn't work in the TV adaptation. They need to remix it to a point that it works. So I don't want to see an identical panel by panel adaptation from the comics. When it makes sense, I do want it, but when it doesn't, I don't want to see it. Like with the Dwight thing and the Rick statues thing, it's obviously not going to work the same way. They're going to have to change things up a little bit with the Sebastian story, even though it's going the same direction at this point. So I want to see the Commonwealth arc come to a close, and then I want to see some sort of a link between Commonwealth and CRM being revealed, because that's an important part. That's gonna be an impactful thing, or not even impactful. It's gonna be essential in all of the new spin-offs that we're gonna have, I think. So I want to see that at least teased or revealed fully in the final 8 episodes. And I also want to see explanation of why the group splits and heads to different directions. Why does Daryl go to Europe? I don't want the actual reveal, like the main reveal of why he's there, but like what motivates him to go. I want to know that. Also, same thing with Daryl, with Negan and Maggie. I want to see what motivates them to go on this mission that they're going on. And I want to see a ending where it takes things from the comics with the ending that we got, but not quite the same, and it mixes that up. And what I mean by the end of the comics is when it comes to what they did with Carl and that story. So I want to see something similar done with Judith, obviously, in the TV adaptation, but I also want it mixed up with things that make sense in the TV adaptation. And this could potentially also connect to the Commonwealth CRM thing. Like they could have everyone be at Commonwealth, but have a scenario where we know why they leave. We know that this is the mission that they're going to go on, but at this point, Commonwealth is their home, and that's where it's going to be. Something like that. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A. Hey Ash, my opinion, I prefer Walking Dead universe over Breaking Bad. Well, here's the thing. I agree, but at the same time, here's what I leave you with. In a way, if we think about Walking Dead being the same in terms of a piece of show, like Breaking Bad. Like if Walking Dead is like Breaking Bad, Walking Dead had a prequel with Fear the Walking Dead, or what started as a prequel, and then Breaking Bad has a prequel, Better Call Saul. Which one's better, Better Call Saul or Fear as a prequel? I'll let you answer that. And then I ask you, does that mean, based on your answer, that the universe of Better Call or Breaking Bad is better than Walking Dead? Do you know what I mean? Like The Walking Dead as a show, I absolutely love the show. First couple seasons I absolutely loved. I started the channel with The Walking Dead and all of that. And then I watched Breaking Bad, one of the greatest shows of all time. But then when you talk about universe, like the universe, I think maybe Breaking Bad might take that win. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A. Hey Ash, if I find interesting, or I find it interesting that after Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad universe is basically complete, where The Walking Dead is expanding. Yeah, that's the other part of it. There's no end in sight, which makes it hard to really rank it. You know what I mean? With Breaking Bad, we have an end in sight. Or we have, with the Breaking Bad universe, we have an end in sight with Breaking Bad. Now, what happens after Breaking Bad is still expanding, or it could expand, but there's a lot of things they could do before that, right? That Walking Dead, you can't really say the same thing because they've exhausted it all in different ways without properly expanding it, you know? For example, what they did with Negan, here's Negan, that could have been a spin-off. That could have been a spin-off with Negan. Kind of like Saul had a spin-off in Breaking Bad. And just like Breaking Bad, or just like Better Call Saul, where we're getting near the end of it, and it's now overlapping with Better Call or Breaking Bad even more, you could see the same thing with the Negan spin-off. It could end with, or not end, but it could overlap at the end of the show with The Walking Dead, you know? And everything they did in the Here's Negan episode, it could have been like 4 or 5 episodes of the Here's Negan spin-off. So that would have been, I think, a better approach to things. With obviously, if they do that, that means that the Maggie Negan spin-off wouldn't be a thing, or it shouldn't have been a thing. And then at that point, or not even at that point, but that would also mean that there would never be a Here's Negan. There couldn't be unless Walking Dead is done. So realistically, in the perfect world, in my opinion, we would have Walking Dead end at some point with no spin-offs, none whatsoever. And then when it's done, we have a Here's Negan spin-off where we see what happened to Negan before he met up with the survivors. We could have a, let's say, Ezekiel spin-off where we see what happened to him before, or something like that. And maybe some of those characters, or Ezekiel might not be the best for a spin-off by himself, but you do get what I mean, right? Or you could, at that point, you could have spin-offs after, like expand the universe. Just like there could be another sequel to Breaking Bad. I don't know if that's a thing, but there could be. Like, it's expanding and it's open-ended. There could be, depending on how Better Call Saul is going to end. So I think that would have been a better approach to things if they do it like that, which Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul absolutely killed doing. Like, they did a fantastic job. How those two shows came together and how everything was set up. Jose Hernandez, do you think Fear could get canceled after season 8 if ratings are super low? I don't think so. They're gonna milk that show. Like, they're gonna milk this universe until the end. Doesn't matter how low ratings get. Yeah, I don't think it'll end after season 8. I think they're gonna go for maybe 10 seasons. They're gonna try to go for 10 seasons, but I think they're gonna fail miserably. Jose Hernandez, if Tales is good and if he gets a second season, they should do a Governor episode and a Beta backstory episode. I agree. I had I had a video talking about which characters I want to see in Tales, and the Governor, Beta were definitely 2 characters that I wanted. We're not going to get them in Tales, or season 1 at least. But in my opinion, they shouldn't have done Alpha. They should have done Governor. The reason for that is we already got a lot of backstory for Alpha already. So there was no need for it. But with the Governor, that would have been, fantastic to see the Governor back. And the Governor done right this time. You know what I mean? At least when it comes to his backstory. Epic Zombie Killer, Q&A. Hey Ash, do you see them making a new Breaking Bad series in the near future, or will it not happen? It all depends how the last 3 episodes go. if they have it open-ended, just like Breaking Bad. Oh, and speaking of Breaking Bad universe, I forgot El Camino, the movie. So they even did a freaking movie. But they didn't wait 4 years for the movie. They did it. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to what I was saying. Depends on what they do in the last 3 episodes and how open-ended it is. In Breaking Bad, it was open-ended to a point where they were able to, do a movie for Jesse. They could have chose to do a series for Jesse if they wanted instead of a movie. So, same thing with Better Call Saul. Depending on what happens in the next 3 episodes, they could do a Kim movie, just like they did a Jesse movie. They could have a Kim spin-off. You know what I mean? So it depends on where the next 3 episodes go. Dr. ADHD, if they end up happily ever after in Commonwealth, do you think they will keep Alexandria, Hilltop, and Oceanside? Or do you think they'll completely abandon them? I don't think they'll abandon them. I think they'll continue being, if they are standing at the end, they'll still keep it. But yeah, it won't be like everyone is there. You know what I mean? It'll be a similar scenario that Lance actually told Maggie about. You go to Hilltop for this, and then you go to Alexandria to do this, and then you go by the lake at Oceanside, and then you go back to Commonwealth for watching a movie and stuff like that. So they don't need to destroy every community to move to the new community, And the more we see them not destroying older communities, the more you're now looking at building or rebuilding civilization and going back to how societies are, where you have different cities and different towns and stuff. Henry Lemoyne, I hope I pronounced your last name right. Do you think in the opening scene of episode 17, it will pick up right after it left off with Lance's coin flip? You mean like when he was doing the coin flip to decide the fate of the Oceanside residents? I think so. Well, maybe not in the intro. I think the intro will give us something different. But when we come back after like the credits or the commercial break, I think we will pick up from there. When we're with Lance, we might not pick up with Lance, but if we pick up with Lance, it will. But I have a feeling we might not even pick up with Lance at all until the next episode after that. Epic Zombie Killer, Q&A, Hash, how would you feel if they made a dog spin-off show? I would love a dog spin-off show with Shiva. That would be awesome. Jermaine Tervino, I know this is far in the future, but who do you honestly think will kill Negan? Rick, Michonne, or Maggie? Or do you think Negan would come to his senses and sacrifice himself to the walkers? I think whenever Negan's end comes, it'll go down that way, where he not sacrifices himself, but he's a casualty of a war of some sort, fighting alongside Rick, Maggie, and Michonne. I don't think any of them will kill him, and I don't think he's gonna live forever. I think he's gonna be killed off at some point, and I think it'll be during like a big battle or a big war at some point in the future, and he'll die fighting with Michonne, Rick, and Maggie and the others. Dr. ADHD, and are the Commonwealth even safe anymore with the climbing walkers? The climbing walkers is cap, in my opinion. I don't think there's climbing walkers. If they bring climbing walkers to The Walking Dead, I'm gonna have a rant video, 45 minutes long. Jose Hernandez, next Sunday is the preview special for Walking Dead final episode and Tales. They said they're gonna give up more information on the Rick spinoff, Daryl spinoff, All of the Dead. Is that this Sunday, like tomorrow, or next Sunday? I didn't know that. I'll definitely catch it and do videos on it if there's anything to talk about. We might even do like a stream the day after or something to talk about it. We'll see. It just jumped. Let me see where I was. Henry Lemoyne. I think instead of keeping Lance, Pamela, and Sebastian alive like in the comics, I think the show is gonna kill all three of them. Seems the way judging by the trailer. I agree with you on the Lance and Sebastian thing, but I disagree on the Pamela thing. I think with Pamela, they're gonna have her come to her senses and give up her power and stay with the people. I feel that's what they're gonna do. And the only reason is because of her conversation with Maggie in that one episode. Something that was original, not in the comics. I think that was there to humanize her to an extent and make fans soften up to the idea of her sticking or being there after the comic book Commonwealth arc and not being in a cell or anything like that. Henry Lemoyne, do you think an important character will end up dying from one of the new fast walkers? Fast walkers. Yeah, not I mean, who do you consider main character? Like Maggie, Negan, Daryl, Rick, Michonne? I don't think any of them are gonna die like that. But lower tier characters, maybe. It's a very high possibility. Like Gabe, if he makes it. Aaron, if he makes it. Rosita, if she makes it, and so on. Play defense. Since the movies are cancelled, do you think CRM and Commonwealth will still have conflict? Yeah, I do think they will, and it'll be settled in the Rick and Michonne spin-off, most likely. Jose Hernandez, do you think they'll make Rick look older in the spin-off, like in the Carl Vision? A little bit older, but not too much older, I don't think. He's not going to be like 70 years old, but he is going to look a little more older and maybe a little more frail than what we're used to. But not to an extent where it's going to make him weaker in any way. Henry Lemoyne, it's pretty cool how the story isn't really ending. Just the comic part of The Walking Dead is the show universe is going to continue the story unlike the comic, which is super cool. Yeah, and that's exactly the reason why I think they even ended the show and didn't continue. Because if they continued, they could have Rick come back and continue, right? And they could have everything that they were gonna have. Explaining what happened to Rick in maybe a couple episodes here and there with flashbacks. The only reason why they didn't do that and they completely ended it because that was the end of the comic book arc. I think that's the reason. Henry Lemoyne, I was rewatching Walking Dead and forgot how cool and intimidating the governor was. David Morrissey played that part really well. Yeah, I agree. But the comic version of the governor was darker. They softened him up a little bit in the TV show. I would have loved to see a more genuine version of the governor. And if they do a backstory for him in a Tales episode later on, I hope that they keep him genuine as far as how dark he was in the comics. Henry Lemoyne, I'm happy we're getting all these shows. The amount of Walking Dead content we're going to get next year is insane. Plus, a Rick show will give us more time and content than a movie would have. I agree. I'm not mad that they did a show instead of a movie. I'm mad that it took them this far or this long to scrap the movie idea and go to the spin-off. idea. Play defense. Do you see Commonwealth view from the outside in the season 11C trailer? It looks huge. Did you see the Commonwealth view from the outside in the 11C trailer? It looks huge. Do I remember seeing that? Let me just look at my still shots of 11C quick. Was it like at the end of the teaser? Or trailer, I mean? If I can't find it in the next minute, or actually 30 seconds, then I'll look for it later, but yeah, I don't see it. From the outside, yeah, I don't know where in the trailer you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know which part you mean. Matsues Vitek, I hope I pronounced that right. What are your favorite Walking Dead episodes? Favorite Walking Dead episodes? I would have to go with Too Far Gone, No Way Out. What Comes After, is that what it was called? Rick's final episode was cool. Four Walls and a Roof was pretty awesome with Gareth. That was a cool episode. No Sanctuary was a pretty awesome episode. The Pilot was obviously a pretty awesome episode. What else? What stands out to me? Just quick. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Oh, obviously, what was the episode called? Last Day on Earth, was that it? Yeah, Negan's first appearance. The cliffhanger killed that episode in my opinion, but it's still one of my favorites. Even though the ending brought it down like a couple layers for me, or levels for me, it's still one of my favorites. Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A, hey Ash, why do you think AMC ended Better Call Saul after season 6? I don't think they ended it. I think that's just the story ended, or the story ended. I don't think that it was cancelled. I just think that was the end of the story. Play defense. How do you think Commonwealth will play into the story after main show ends? Well, they're gonna change the way things are at Commonwealth. They're gonna elect a leader to run things, but not in the way that Pamela was running things. And they're gonna keep the military. That's how I think they're gonna play them into the story. Matthews Vitek, what are your favorite Walking Dead seasons? Season 1 was excellent. Season 4 was solid. Season 5 was solid. Actually, not season 5. Season 4 was solid. I would say season 6, and after that, season 9. So if I were to put it in order, season 1, season 4, no, season 1, season 6, season 4, and then season 9. My top 4. And earlier on, I might have had a different opinion, but that's just what my opinion is right now. Henry Lemoyne. In the trailer, you see Daryl holding Lance at knife point. Lance was wearing the same suit he was wearing when he flipped the coin at the end of episode 16. So what must be the same exact day? Yeah, I think shortly after that, he gets captured. I think. I don't think we're going to see much of Lance by himself in the last 8 episodes. I think he's going to be captured pretty early on. Jose Hernandez, how do you think Rick will react to seeing Negan again? Depends how he sees him. If he sees him free out there on his own, bothering nobody, doing his thing, he's not gonna mind. He's not gonna go say hi to him. I don't think, but he's just gonna keep his distance. If he is in the community living with everyone else like nothing happened, he's gonna be furious. If he sees him in the jail cell again, which is very unlikely, then he's gonna be happy because that's exactly where he wants him to be. Play defense. I almost said Megan. Will Maggie and Negan make it to New York with Commonwealth troops? Because it's a long journey. And just 2 people making it seems unlikely. Yeah, I think so. There was something in the trailer where Maggie's saying goodbye to Herschel Jr. And then there's a bus right next to her. I think she's saying goodbye to go on this journey. And she's going to join Negan and other Commonwealth militia in that bus to get them somewhere. And they're going to obviously end up in New York at the end of the day. I don't think that's going to be their original destination. That's where they're going to head, or that's where they're going to end up, but that's not going to be where they're going to head initially. I should breathe before I talk more. Okay, what's next? Play defense. Do you think Daryl will go to Europe with some Commonwealth troops? I don't think he would go alone. I think so as well. Like, I don't think he's going to go by himself. It's possible Mercer will go with him, but we don't have that confirmation. So I don't want to, make a big deal out of that because we don't know for sure. But seems logical, especially because Carol won't be going with him, obviously. Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A. Hey Ash, I'm shocked you put Saul in the middle. You'd think Walter would be biggest character in that universe. Well, that was just the thumbnail I created like in 5 minutes with the best pictures I could find in 5 minutes. So I didn't really think about the symbolism behind the picture. I just put something together. But yeah, it would be Walt in the middle. But the thing is, because we're watching Better Call Saul, and that's the main thing right now. That's why I have that as the main thing in the middle. Okay, where were we? Henry Lemoyne. When Negan infiltrates Commonwealth after he talks to Mercer, do you think he'll get in touch with the group that stayed behind, like Carol and Eugene, etc., and tell them what's been going on? I think so. That's the most logical way for the story to go. He wouldn't just not say anything to anyone. Play defense. Do you think we'll see more of Commonwealth besides same streets every time, since we already saw a bigger view of Commonwealth in the latest trailer. I think so. I think we will. I can't find that scene that you're talking about, but I think it makes sense for us to finally see how big Commonwealth really is, because comparing the comics to the show, when it comes to size of Commonwealth, it's not even close. So they're gonna give us real Commonwealth from the comics in the last 8 for sure. Henry Lemoyne, I mean, like Aaron or Jerry could die by fast walkers, considering we saw Jerry injured in the trailer. We also saw Aaron talking about them in the trailer. They might be foreshadowing for Aaron. Well, I don't think we're going to see fast walkers in Walking Dead. We're going to see those climbing walkers, but not fast walkers. I doubt we're going to see the fast running zombies from End of World Beyond in the last 8 episodes. Play defense. Where do you think Morgan is currently at within the timeline? I have a lot of timeline videos where I dig into what the actual timeline is. But let me just think. Let me just look at what my latest timeline video looks like. Or not video, my timeline. What do you call it? Yeah, the latest timeline I have. Let me see. Let's see. Where is Morgan right now? Okay, let me think. What is the last thing we saw with Morgan in this timeline that I have? Oh, okay. I think, and obviously I'm just guessing because I don't actually have the right timeline in front of me, like to the current timeline based on what's online, but if I were to make a guess, I would think Morgan and others are dealing with Strand, like it's early on in their dealing with Strand from like season 6, I think early season 6. I think that lines up to an extent with actually wait a minute. Is Fear ahead of Walking Dead? Let me think. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really say. I don't know for sure. I was gonna say that it lines up with, like, if you're talking right now in The Walking Dead, with Commonwealth War basically starting, whereas Morgan right now, I would say they just finished dealing with Virginia and her group. Yeah, I would say, but that's a guess. So even before dealing with the Strand thing, I was gonna say that, but then it didn't really line up in my head. So probably something like they're dealing with Virginia right now. Epic Zombie Killer Q&A. Hey Ash, will you be doing reactions for Tales? Yeah. When it comes to Tales, just reactions. Isle of the Dead, one trailer breakdown, like before every episode, and the main trailer and the reactions, but no discussion videos unless it's something pretty big to talk about. When it comes to the Daryl show, same thing. Main trailers and promos before the episodes, like the breakdowns for those and the reactions. For the Rick and Michonne spin-off, it'll be the same thing. The only thing I would add for that, for the Rick and Michonne spinoff, is probably when we have those 6 episodes, it'll be a live stream every week when it's airing. But just for that show. That's the only thing I would add that's different from Tales and Isle of the Dead and the Daryl spinoff. Play defense. Do you think if the CDC never blew up in season 1, then CRM would have showed up, saved them, and the show would have went a completely different path? Well, I don't think CRM existed at that point. I think the CRM was the creation of the CRM was a byproduct of the military of the United States failing, the CDC blowing up, and the government basically shutting down, not shutting down, but ceasing to exist, you know? So I think those 3 things are what led to the creation of the CRM. And if CDC didn't blow up, then you still have to look at the military and the government. If they didn't get annihilated, then I would say at that point, yeah, it would have gone a different route, because CRM would never have actually, wait, if none of those things happened, if CDC stayed, government stayed, and the military stayed, then the CRM would never exist, and that would make the story go a different route. But I think from those 3, at any point, if 2 of them fail, then the CRM would have still ultimately been created. With the exception of maybe if just the CDC blew up but the government and military still existed, then the CRM wouldn't necessarily have come about. But that's the only exception, I think. Play defense. No, it's where there's a horde of zombies and it's in the background. Oh, let me look at the trailer. Maybe it wasn't in my stills. Maybe I forgot to include it in my stills that I broke down. So let me just look at it. The Walking Dead trailer, mute. Okay, let me see. Where there's a horde of walkers, right? That's what you said. Oh, I see. I found it. Yeah. Yeah. I did have that in my screenshots too. You can't really see much, but yeah, it's a proper city, obviously. Play defense. When I watched your breakdown of the trailer, I think you missed the Commonwealth view. I didn't miss it. I might not have mentioned it, but I did see it. Now that I looked at the part you were talking about, I remembered. I think I said the horde is going towards Commonwealth, didn't I? I think I said that. Maybe I didn't acknowledge that we do see the Commonwealth view in the background. Henry Lemoyne, Ezekiel should become the new leader of Commonwealth. Well, it's probably going to be Maggie, just like the comics. But yeah, Ezekiel, maybe. I mean, he's not the leader type of character. Like, I can't see him leading a large group of people. Jose Hernandez, if Gabe or Rosita die, I could see Eugene and Max raising Coco. Yeah, I could see that too. Play defense. Do you think the group Michonne found and Commonwealth will become allies to defeat CRM? Almost 100%. Almost 100%. Otherwise, it would be a random scene to have for Michonne in her final episode. I think that group is gonna lead Michonne to find Rick first and foremost, and then at that point they're gonna join the Commonwealth to fight back against the CRM. Henry Lemoyne, judging by the trailer, it looks like Negan is gonna kidnap Sebastian and hold him hostage to make Pamela and the government do something he wants. Yeah, it appears that's what they're doing. I agree with you. Epic Zombie Killer. Kyonehash, do you see Lance dying in 11C at some point? Yes, I do. I think Lance is going to die within the first few episodes. Play Defense. Do you think people in the CR will revolt about their military like how Commonwealth citizens are revolting about Pamela? Yes, but I think it's going to take another group coming in to support them for that to happen. Henry Lemoyne, do you think Lance will get Sebastian killed or Sebastian's kill in the comic? Do you think Lance will be the one to shoot someone in their sleep? Oh, that's an interesting perspective. I would say it's possible. I would say it's possible. Do I like it better than Sebastian doing it? Or not doing it? Like no one doing it? Like them not doing it, I mean. Yeah, I like that better. I would say Lance doing it, number one. A second option for them not to do that story because it doesn't work. And third, it, you know, the same as the comics with Sebastian. How many questions do we have? We've been going for a while. We've been going for an hour. I will go up to this question from Play Defense, and that'll be the end of the stream. Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A. Hey Ash, Maggie saying goodbye to her son gave me vibes to Clementine Lives when she left AJ. I haven't played that Clementine game to that or that far, so I wouldn't be able to comment on that. Play Defense. Yeah, I agree with the bus you noticed in the trailer because there was a leak showing Commonwealth troops in bikes, jeeps, and I think the same bus arriving to Alexandria, possibly there to roll out. Yeah, it's possible. Play Defense, and it was for one of the last episode, so it makes sense for those troops to pull up to Alexandria to pick up Negan and Maggie. Yeah, that makes sense. Play Defense. Why do you think Maggie and Negan are leaving at all? And who do you think will lead Commonwealth while they're gone? I think Mercer, if he's still there, will be the one to lead, as well as Gabriel and others. When it comes to why do they leave, I did a video earlier today on that. I think they leave on a mission to find some scientists that have information about new types of walkers or stuff like that. I posted that video earlier today, so if you want to know my full thoughts, check it out. It's on the channel. Dr. ADHD, do you think we'll see a Alexandria expansion like in the comics? Do you think it'll be much bigger or the same? I don't think we're going to see an expansion like the comics. We might, but I doubt it. If they do, it'll be the same. It won't be bigger. Jose Hernandez, what happened with Negan's leather jacket? He stopped wearing it ever since Maggie showed up. I think there's a good reason for him not to want to wear it. Henry Lemoyne, I mean, after he hasn't worn it after he burnt the bat. Lucille, the bat. So maybe it wasn't about Maggie's return. Maybe it was a byproduct of burning the bat. Henry Lemoyne, Lance gets captured and then you see him with Carol and then you see him in the Commonwealth. and his scar is healed. So that means he survived getting captured and gets away successfully. Where do you see that? Where he's in Commonwealth with his scar healed? I haven't seen anything like that, or I don't remember. Jose Hernandez, they said the new walkers are a throwback to the walkers from season 1 and that this variant is regional. Again, if they do the climbing walkers, I'm gonna rant for 45 minutes in a video. I hope they don't do it the same way you think, or we think. Play defense. Why do you think CRM haven't obliterated a Commonwealth yet? They have a pact with them, just like they had a pact with Omaha. But they still see Commonwealth as an asset, unlike Omaha. So they're still working with them, if there's a connection. Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A, hey Ash, do you see Tales of the Walking Dead releasing on DVD and Blu-ray? Yeah, why not? Henry Lemoyne, do you think Lance knows about the CRM and maybe he knows who Rick is? He most likely knows CRM, but I don't think he knows who Rick is. That would be a reach. Jose Hernandez, they also said that this variant is more aggressive and dangerous. Interesting. We're gonna have to see. I mean, if they do it well, then I might not do a rant video. But if they screw it up, then I'm doing a rant video. Because there's so many ways that they could screw that up. That story with that type of walker. Even with the fast zombies, it's questionable in my opinion to see in this universe. But yeah. Epic Zombie Killer. Q&A, hey Ash, would you say that the Breaking Bad universe timeline is more cleaner and smoother than Walking Dead? Absolutely. 100%. That's a good word, smoother. It's smoother and cleaner. Like, there's no loopholes. There's no plot holes. It makes sense for the most part. Like, 99% of it makes sense. When you look at the Walking Dead universe and timeline, maybe 80% of it makes sense, you know? Henry Lemoyne, the scene in the trailer where Pamela is screaming with blood on her face, do you think that scene has something to do with Sebastian? Maybe Sebastian killed someone or someone got killed himself. Or Sebastian got killed himself. Yeah, I think that is Sebastian killing someone. Or, if they remix it, it's someone reacting to Sebastian shooting someone and killing Sebastian. Something like that. So I think it's either just the first with Sebastian killing someone, or you know, both with Sebastian killing someone and then getting killed himself. Henry Lemoyne, the scene actually, that's as far as I wanted to go with the previous question, but let me see. We have a few more, so I'll just run through these last couple very quickly. Henry Lemoyne, the scene in the trailer where I just read that. Next one. Play defense. Do you think Maggie, Negan, and Commonwealth Troops will run into a CRM research post in New York? And that would be the first conflict between CRM and Commonwealth. Maybe that's definitely possible. Henry Lemoyne, what do you think will happen to Gabriel's character? Will he die or live? I think he's gonna live. I think not Sebastian. Gabriel is gonna live. Rosita is gonna die, and Aaron is gonna die, and Jerry is gonna die. I think. And a couple characters from Magna's group are gonna die. I still can't believe none of them are dead yet. Like, plot armor right here for that group. Henry Lemoyne, I love Negan and Gabriel's relationship because Gabriel is the closest person that Negan has to a friend. I wouldn't say so. From Negan's perspective, yeah, but from Gabe's perspective, not even close. Henry Lemoyne, check out the scene in the trailer where Lance is talking to someone behind bars in the Commonwealth. His scar is healed and no longer red and swollen. Well, he's behind bars, right? He's not free. I think He's still captured there. So some time does pass, but he's still captured. Play defense. I think you missed my highlighted question. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, I did. Sorry. Play defense. Do you think there will be more Commonwealth troops on Pamela's side or will be more on Maggie's side? Because in the trailer, I think Maggie had some on her side, probably because of Mercer. Yeah, I think they both will have Commonwealth troops on their side. Who has more? I think Maggie. Because she speaks for the people. And because she has Mercer's trust. And a lot of people in Commonwealth trust Mercer. I think that's it. That's the end of the Q&A. I hope everyone enjoyed this. This was fun. Another great surprise live stream. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community. Press that bell to be notified when I upload. That's it. I'll catch you in the next one.